So this is a dogwood. Goes by the name red stem dogwood. Although, frankly, the red stems are usually just on those plants which are in sunny locations and so forth. It's often touted as a native plant for the area and freely planted in all sorts of areas. It has both colorful, the white fruit are pretty distinctive, unlike many of our other dogwoods, but it also has some pretty flowers, which are typical dogwood flowers. Dogwoods have, four-petaled flowers and so forth, and this is, of course, typical of that. And of course, they've got the opposite branching, so every leaf is opposite, and twigs are opposite each other. This plant, which common name, Red-Osier, Red Twig. It also, I guess, scientific name is Cornus. I guess two different names. Stolonifera is probably the more accepted one, and then Serratia. Stolonifera because it spreads by stolons, so soon you can end up with a big pile of it is everywhere along the ground. It'll creep up and pop up again. But Serratia means silky, but that's usually applied to another plant, so that's actually truly known to be native. This one is planted as a native plant, but it's of questionable origin. It's probably, most of the stuff we have out here are escapes, where the birds, of course, eat those white berries, and they spread it from place to place. But for example, in DC area, the only records we have for it are near Fairfax along the Potomac, and that's been questioned as to whether or not it's an escapee, the actual identity of the plant, and so forth. So whether or not it's native, I'll tell you, it's a pretty neat plant. It is native at least to the United States and to part of probably the Mid-Atlantic. But whether it's not native to Virginia or even in the DC area is something else. But it's planted freely because of the colorful, it's easy care. It doesn't grow real big, 12, 15 feet's about right. It's popular, of course, with birds. It has pretty berries. It's got those white flowers. It's carefree. It can take really flooded conditions. It spreads and fills in nicely. So lots of good things going for our red twig or Red-Osier dogwood. A native dogwood, but whether or not it's native here again is debatable. But neat, opposite, pretty flower, pretty leaves, much like lots of the other dogwoods, and supports all sorts of different kinds of species, different kinds of some of the azure butterflies. So caterpillars will live on the flowers. The berries are full of very rich lipids and proteins, so popular with the birds. A neat plant. The red twig or Red-Osier dogwood.